You know those girlfriends that are so easy to talk to, the kind you could talk to for hours about everything and nothing at the same time? That's sort of the premise behind the invitation to join the Studio 5 hot seat. We've invited friends of the show to have quality girlfriend chatter with us, just for fun, just for fun. And I have to say that is something my next guest is great at. She's a reporter, an anchor, also a wife and a mother. Her ambition and passion lead out in everything she does. Shara Park, come on out. Woohoo! Isn't that the moment you wanted?
I wanted it
to
so
come
bad.
through the door?
Yes.
Thanks for saying yes, sister.
For having me.
One of my biggest compliments around KSL Broadcast House is when from behind someone says, Shara,
Oh.
to me.
Anytime somebody says Brooke, I turn to.
Listen,
Yes?
we're blonde sisters, and we embrace it. How are you?
Good, busy. Back to school, back
You
to life,
are
back to
busy.
schedules, all the things.
What's the family vibe?
Just, we're day to day, Brooke.
Yeah.
We are literally like, look at the schedule the night before, 10 o'clock at night, divide up who's doing what, who's going where, and survive.
Doesn't it feel romantic when you're laying in bed, you're like, hey, honey, what you doing tomorrow at 2 o'clock?
Not something we want to do, but there you go. Okay.
A little calendar system. How old, Will, Jane?
13 and 11.
Oh, you're in the thick of it, and you're loving it.
I love it. It is our best phase. We're in that perfect little pocket right now. I love it.
Okay, well, we need an hour just to sit and girlfriend chat with
Well, I'm
you.
excited. What are these topics? Let's
Our
go.
viewers are going to love this as much as I love this. We'll start with dating, which your kids are not quite there yet. But
Okay.
Gen Zers believe that flirting is dying. That flirting is dead. So NBC recently interviewed, this is a 24-year-old from LA, her name was Nikki. She said, quote, I think flirting is dying. If someone thinks you're cute, they just ask for your Instagram these days and then DM you or swipe up on your story to show they're interested. And since so much of their social and dating life happens online, Nikki, other Gen Zers saying there is no person-to-person spark. So let's establish flirting in our day was what?
I loved flirting. I felt like I was good at flirting. I think there's probably a list of boys from Granger High School who would like to probably have that discussion. Flirting in our day was contact, was talking, was
banter.
The banter, the funny little things in the hallway. I don't know.
It was touch. It was a subtle touch of a shoulder.
It was wearing their sweatshirt. It was compliments. It was all the things. It was taking cookies to their house. I took so many cookies.
Oh, I bet you won
to
so
many houses.
boys over with your chocolate
But you know
chip.
what I mean? But it was contact.
So since you're slightly more into this than I am, based on the age of your children, how do you see this play out in your preteens?
It literally just played out the other night. So back to school night. So I'm realizing that these kids need a little bit more help. Right?
Okay.
We're walking down the hallway, and my son, cute, good-looking kid, tall.
He is.
Athletic build, walking down the hallway, and I see these 3 girls at their locker just turn and start to look at him as he's going by. And I'm behind my mom. I'm a few feet back. And I'm looking at him going, Will, like, acknowledge.
To your right.
Look to the right. Like, say hello to the girls. Walk straight past. We got to the end of the hallway, and I grabbed him. I said, why didn't you say hi to those girls?
Yeah.
And he was like, what are you talking about? What girls?
Oblivious.
Oh, Will. I was like, don't you know how to flirt? And
Yeah.
he's like, Mom, what are you talking? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So that night we had discussions. I mean, you have to say hi to people. You have to acknowledge them. You have to say their name. You have to, like, when you're in class, like, say something like you like their sweater.
But so you have to spell this out.
Oh yeah.
You have to like coach
he was
mom.
oblivious to it. And he's like,
Isn't
well,
that
like
funny?
we follow each other on like Be Real, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna do it.
Well, this isn't flirting or dating, but we're working with Boston 7, Humble 7, on eye contact. And it was so funny also at back to school night because I had said, now you're going to look your teacher in the eye. Of course, it didn't happen, the flurry and the excitement. So we were walking out of the classroom, and he goes, oh, and he ran back and stared at his teacher. And I'm like, buddy, the moment passed. So I can see where you kind of have to start coaching that.
Yes, so we're in that phase now, preteen, 13, 14, where I'm going, okay, now's where we actually have to teach those behaviors because I don't want my son to digitally date, right? I don't want that to be the thing that he's in his phone. I want him to be the kid that girls feel comfortable going up to
in the room.
and is in the room and that he's aware of it. So we're not gonna walk down the hallway at school and not see the 3 girls staring at you. Like, acknowledge them.
I do kind of think his generation is there's going to be a turnover. I think
hope
we
so.
sort of learned with this gap generation, the detriments to dating and to connection and relationships that social media does not provide.
It's definitely different. I I wouldn't want to do it again now.
I
it would
wouldn't
be
either.
a lot harder.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Okay, next topic. This is super juicy and super interesting. So a recent study found that 93% of Americans, 93% believe they practice kindness, but only 55% of people think the average American is kind. Now there's a gap there. It tells us many people think they're kind, but maybe most people aren't. What do you think is the disconnect there? Are we easily offended?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll state that right away. I do think that we easily get offended. Personally, though, I go into every new connection or relationship or contact assuming the person is kind.
Yes.
Like I just innately believe that everyone is kind.
Assume
and it's really,
goodness.
It's really up to them to prove to me you're not. So
Right.
I'm going to always give you the benefit of the doubt. So as I get to know you, if something over that period of time tells me differently, then I'll adjust my thinking. But I do believe that we are all taught from a young age what kindness is, and I think it is in every single one of us. I think that we have just become a little more reserved in society with, I don't know if it was COVID or whatnot, but I think we all kind of retreated, and maybe that was a sign that maybe people struggle to show outward kindness. I don't know. I don't know, but I do believe people are kind. I really do.
I'm with you on that. You have to assume goodness. I also think we sometimes project stereotype a little bit. Like I find myself thinking, you know, there's a narrative out there that the world is unkind. Is it? Is it? I don't know. Like I watched Inside Out 2 over the summer. Did you watch that with your kids? And one thing that really bugged me about the movie, it was a great movie. There were so many life lessons, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But they introduced anxiety and emotion, a character, as a standard, normal part
As if every single person has anxiety.
Every teenager that goes through puberty is going to experience this anxiety. Well, that's not true. I'm not saying we can't talk about anxiety or prepare. And I think the same kind of goes with kindness. Like, we can't assume the world is unkind.
No, I think it is within all of us. I think we have examples of it all around us all the time. And so I will always choose to believe people are kind.
Yeah. Which, is that hard in your profession?
No, because I meet wonderful people like you every day. People on your show, people in the community. People tell me that our society is kind.
Yeah.
There's a few bad apples,
Sure,
right?
sure,
We all
always.
have them, but for the most part, I think people are.
Let's be a mirror to that. Amen. Okay, switching topics and tones. It's almost football season.
It is football season.
It was on Sunday at my house.
It's in my,
So husbands are apparently, I don't know if this is just for fun or how serious depending on the dynamic, but they're creating contracts
I've seen
with
those.
their wives. So here's one that was shared on TikTok. This wife said, for the past several months, I have been an engaged, helpful, this is from husband to wife. For the past several months, I have been an engaged, helpful husband and father. However, I regret to inform you that I am putting in my 2 weeks notice. I will no longer be available for work on Sundays nor Thursday evenings. I'll also be unavailable every Saturday due to conflicting commitments. This will be in effect until early February. What's the dynamic at your house? The wife wrote back and said, we're short-staffed. This isn't allowed.
This isn't allowed. We're short-staffed.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's actually pretty cute. We are in the heart of football season in my house. So my son plays football.
Right.
He's in his last year of Bantam football, and I'm team mom. I don't know how I ended up team mom, but I'm team mom. And so we are football every night, every weekend right now, all things Alta, all things football. And I love it, and we love it. And it's a family thing. And that's why I think it sits well in our family. Everybody's involved in some way. Even though I'm team mom, my husband's also team dad by proxy.
You're recruited.
Yeah, you're recruited.
So if not football, is there something that consumes Nick that you two have to balance out in your relationship?
Our children.
Oh, really?
They consume us, honestly. If we're not at football practice, we're at volleyball practice, or we're going to soccer. But we're just living in that season where we're huge Utah football fans.
Yes, you are.
And so
we're still friends.
Yes, we're still friends. When we can't go to one game here, if we can try to get up to the U, we'll go to those games. But I think for us, I know it doesn't work for every family this way, but we both enjoy sports so much that we're all in together. And if one kid doesn't want to come, fine, they can stay home. But we enjoy it. Last season, I say it was my Chiefs era. I was all about the Chiefs. For
Is that what you were all about?
I was all about the Jets for Travis Wilson. I was all about, you know what I mean? I was watching all these teams, and my husband was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "These are all our connections. I love supporting them all." And
so no contract needed at the Parker Park house.
The only contract we have was a contract my husband wrote when after we had our second baby. He said we will only have 2 kids, and I signed that contract and put it up on the fridge, and it stayed there since.
Mark likes to remind me that in the throes of labor, a failed epidural, I said, "We're done." That was 2 kids
We're
ago.
done.
Yeah,
that's the only contract I've ever signed was 2 kids. I'm out.
Shara Park, we love you. Our viewers love you. You are the darling of KSL News.
You're
so
so sweet.
thank you for making time for this.
Thank you, and I love your viewers. So thank you for having me.
They love you. Thanks so much.